Is Bitcoin still looking bearish and ready for another big drop to the downside and a break below $60,000? As personally, I have been wanted to see for a very long time. This plan was literally outlined 2.5 months ago at this point. Or is Bitcoin finally looking bullish and we are ready for a breakout and much higher prices? This is what I want to talk about in this update. However, in this one, since our last video update, okay, so not the live stream, since our last update was, I think, right there on Thursday, what I will do is a quick recap of what I have personally done in this range and what we can look for next. So in our last update, which was once again right there, what I said was that I was personally still in my short position from $74,000 and I expected lower prices. So what happened? We did indeed get lower prices, and that's when I decided that price was just taking a bit too long to drop below $60,000. So I decided to implement a take profit one on my short position. Once again, entry around $74,100, take profit at $66,800. And then the next week, as we saw a very strong bounce on Monday, so Monday morning, I decided also to close the rest of my short position at $68,800. In hindsight, of course, that was a very good decision because as we know, price is right now sitting around $74,000. But with that said, on Sunday, I had one main plan, which was this one. So I did expect a pump. However, I would have loved to see a drop into my support first, which didn't happen. So I got the pump. I was not in a long position, but the plan was that we would get a rejection right there, as you can see, around $70,000, get a drop, and that's where I wanted to look for another long position for once again a move higher in the charts to the second resistance. And guess what happened? This plan played out perfectly. We got the rejection. Once again, $70,000. We got the drop as expected. I personally found this support at $68,300, which I did long. So at this point, everything was going very well. I had fully closed my short position. We had got the rejection of $70,000 as expected, but personally, I still expected at least one more bounce. I took my long position. It was looking very good, but unfortunately, price decided to come down one more time, stop me out of my long position, and then we found the bottom and saw the move higher in the charts. Then at the second resistance, I didn't take any short position. So I just remained patient and tried one short on Friday around $71,700, which ended up getting stopped out. So right now, back to the chart, I am not in any position at all. Once again, I have fully closed my short from up there. I did try one long right there, which was just a bit early. And then last Friday, I tried one short, which was around this area, I think. And then I ended up getting stopped out. But with that said, what can we now expect next? Well, on Sunday, I'll be honest, what I wanted to see was a range on Monday. Okay, so I wanted to see price go sideways until late Monday to then look for a short position and then a reversal to the downside. But then we ended up getting a straight pump. Personally, I did talk about this in Discord. I didn't take any short position just because price was looking very strong. Once again, right decision because we ended up moving higher. However, what I have been saying for a long time is that above $76,000, we don't have a lot of resistance, which is where I had taken my first short. At this point, we are retesting this area. We have also taken out the first high, and we are seeing a rejection to the downside with a 12-hour imbalance. But personally, I actually haven't taken a short position yet. And why is that? Well, it's for one main reason. Usually when I look for a position, I look for two things. I look for a good three things. I look for a good resistance or support, I look for imbalances, and I look for a good reaction. Well, what do we have now? We actually have all of these three things. We have a good resistance, which is this one. We have a good reaction, as you can see on the 12-hour, and we do also have a 12-hour imbalance. On Binance, it's even better because we have a daily imbalance as well, as you can see right there. However, my problem with that short position right now is that if you remember, when we did the live stream down there, okay, so right there on Sunday, what I said is that in my opinion, even if price wants to go higher, this low is not going to hold, just because if you take the low that it had swept, which was this one, the deviation was just too small in my opinion to justify a strong low. And guess what ended up happening? We can go on the 1 hour. This very small sweep ended up getting swept as well. We got a bigger deviation, and then we got the reversal to the upside that we are seeing today. Well, what do we have on this high? You take the initial high and look what we have right now. We have the exact same logic. The deviation, at least in my opinion, is just too small. So that's why, even though we have the resistance, we have the imbalances, we have the reaction, in my opinion, this high is not very strong. And personally, if I want to look for another short position, I will wait for this high to get swept. So with that said, what can we look for in terms of scenarios? Well, I can remove this high, and I would say that I'm looking for one main thing for the short position. If I want to trigger a short position, what I would wait for is just for price maybe to drop a bit more today. Okay, maybe go a bit sideways. And then if we can come back up, sweep the high one more time, get higher time frame imbalances again, and then come back down. This is when personally I will trigger my short position. On this high, as mentioned, I am not too comfortable with the deviation, so that's why I want to wait for at least one more sweep if I want to look for shorts. Now, on the other hand, of course, if we do indeed come back up, we don't have a reaction, right? We flip this as support, then simply no short position will be offered, and I will just be expecting higher prices. So in terms of support, unfortunately, I don't see too much. We could have this wickless 1 hour imbalance, so I will keep this on my chart. If we have a good reaction, maybe I will try a day trade long, which could turn into a swing trade, but it's not the strongest support ever. Okay, just keep this in mind, because if we get a drop and we do indeed get my scenario to play out, of course, it would be very nice to be in a long from the lows in case I want to open a short from the highs, because being hedged, of course, is always the best thing. Now, on the other hand, what happens if this is the high and we get a straight drop to the downside? Well, for me, it's very simple. If we lose these lows, which are around the weekly opens and also the psychological level at $70,000, then that would be a massive sign of weakness, and I can look for short positions lower. Okay, so if price has stopped out, we get a drop, then I don't mind at all looking for short position right there, for example, for a move much lower in the charts. Okay, so very simple right here. I have talked for a bit, so with that said, I will do a very quick and simple recap. Right now we have a very good volume high above this first high, but my problem with it is that the deviation is just not big enough. So right now I am waiting for one of two things. For the short position, okay, if we can come back up one more time and get one more sweep, then at this point, this will trigger a first short position for me. Right now, I am not interested in any short position. To the downside, for a long, in case we do get this small move, we do have this small support, not the strongest one, so be careful of the reaction around $73,100. If we get imbalances, a good reaction, then yes, in my opinion, for a day trade, this is not the worst long ever, but be cautious because prices are very overextended right now. On the other hand, if price has stopped out and we get a straight drop to the downside, the sign of weakness will be below these lows, in which case I will wait for a small retest, which could be something like this, open a short position, and then see that bigger reversal to the downside. At this point, I don't want to be the guy chasing the short positions in case the market has bottomed. I want to wait for a good setup. This one is not the best in my opinion. So either we get one more sweep, or if Bitcoin has bottomed, we could simply, for example, drop, get a straight pump to the upside. But once again, not the best high in my opinion. We could get one more sweep if price really wants to go lower. This is where I will open my short position. If I'm wrong and we get a straight drop to the downside, I will look for my short positions lower. So with that said, as usual, if you guys enjoyed this update, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.